volume. Space Case Collectibles, thank you so much. I have my mic off. I was testing something else. So I'm gonna say that over. It is Friday, the Star Wars Live. Mike the Sig Slayers here. This is the May Star Wars celebration. This is the last final Friday of the month. And I always celebrate Star Wars at least once a year. And it's during the month of May. I can't really make the May the 4th or the Revenge of the 5th. So I celebrate This is the May. So we've been doing this 4 years. And so I normally interview someone that's related to Star Wars in the comics realm, or we'll commemorate something in the Star Wars realm and it will be pre-recorded. I wanted to talk about Andor Season 2 to commemorate This is the May. And so we're going to talk about that. And I highlighted that or foreshadowed that last week on Star Wars Live. And I admitted that I was quite critical of Andor Season 2. I did my episode 789 are okay. So see, we're getting there. And so we're going to talk about Andor a lot tonight. Okay, but as we do always, we're going to just dive in. If you're new to the channel and you're joining in and you want to talk about Star Wars tonight, thank you very much. Please smash the like button as you enter today. Please smash the like button and subscribe to the Sig Slayers station. We normally talk about comics, and we are going to talk about comics tonight. Star Wars comics as well. And so definitely we wanted to make sure. Hold on one second. I wanted to get something squared off. So go ahead and put your Star Wars lives in already, guys. Let's do this. I'm about to run it right now. Collecting comments, hashtag Star Wars Live, as we do every week. And we are giving away 3 signed Star Wars related comics today. Okay? All issue number 1s. So put in your hashtag Star Wars Live today, because we're giving away Star Wars comics to celebrate Star Wars. This is the May. So Star Wars Live, go and collect them. There's no number requirement tonight. We want people to go home with Star Wars related stuff, but each prize is going to have a different stipulation. We'll talk about prizes later, but the first prize will be related to hashtag Star Wars Live. So please start adding your Star Wars lives in now to qualify, and I'll give the reveal. On these comics later. So I have the comics right here. 3 winners tonight. 3 winners tonight. Okay. So hashtag Star Wars Live. We are going to be giving away 3 signed Star Wars comics, 3 different titles, 3 different number 1 issues. Okay. All signed. And hey, join the party tonight. But as we always do every week, we have Star Wars Pics of the Week, Star Fans Picks of the Week. This weekend, what's happening right now is the Fan Expo Dallas, and we unpacked that a little bit. And so we're going to just talk about that. So just remind you guys, we are going to be talking about Andor Season 2. Not worth the hype. That's my take. We're going to get your take, and we're going to talk about it in a few minutes. So please stick around for that. But we're talking right now. We're going to unpack or just showcase some Stash Fan Picks of the Week. And this is from Southern Comic Geek. Shout out to SCG. He's out there right now. And I'm trying to figure out who's this artist right here. I don't know who it is. Does some DC work. Has a Wonder Woman cover. He didn't tell me who this was, but I love the Batman thing on the side. And I think that's kind of like a digital thing or a Lego thing. But this is what SCG sent me today. So this is the first day 1 of Fan Expo Dallas. And then now we're going to get into some fun stuff. We're going to go international. And we're going to go to this con here, man. And shout out to Crónicas de Gotham. That's the homie out in Spain. And then this is Viñeta Cazar. Three. This happened a couple weeks ago. This is in Spain, and some household names from DC. I mean, from DC Comics was at this show, and I'm going to show you some. Shout out to Crónicas de Gotham. That is the homie. Going to show you guys who was there, man. Some household names. The first one, Bruno Redondo. Now, I hope you guys know Bruno Redondo. Bruno Redondo, famous. I'm probably the best recent Nightwing run with Tom Taylor. And as you can see, you have these absolute Batman sketch here. Yeah, this is in Spain. This is Viñeta Cazar Tres. Bruno Redondo's there. Signing, and I hear that he didn't like this cover. So we got Bruno Redondo from, and this is from the homie Crónicas de Gotham. And then another DC talent was there, Daniel Semperi. And as you guys know, he did Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. And a lot of the all-in covers, man, as well as other things. I mean, he did a gang of stuff. I think he did a Superman run. Definitely a up-and-coming star in DC. And I think my man is getting a freebie Batman sketch. And, so this is Stash Fam Worldwide. So this is from Spain, guys. And just showing you guys, again, this is the event in Spain, and this was on the 17th and 18th of May. I just got some stuff. Bruno Redondo. And I don't know if these guys are digital. I don't know if their published work is digital. If it is, these pieces that you see to the right are kind of like the only representation of original work you'll get from these guys. And so it's kind of a cool situation to be in Spain and actually be in contact with active artists on titles. That's pretty unique. Bruno Redondo, he usually shows up in San Diego Comic-Con. I know he's with Comic Sketch Art. So there's opportunities for people in the States to meet him. I hope to meet him this year in San Diego. Daniel Semperi, I keep missing. I want to get my Dark Crisis issue signed. Already got Joshua Williamson on them already. So I want to get the whole set signed by Daniel here. And he's been to the last few San Diego Comic-Cons. I just didn't want to get in the Comic Sketch Art line, or he was one of those ticketed type signings where you had to do the random portal and get a wristband to get signatures from him. And this was during the height of Dark Crisis. And yeah, so I actually don't have any signatures from him, and I'm looking forward to that. But I know the homie Crónicas de Gotham is hooking me up, so that I can't wait to get those, especially from Bruno Redondo here. So shout out to all the Stash Fam. This is fantastic. I wish I would have met Bruno Redondo. I still have the classic Nightwing covers that he's done that still need to be signed. I don't have Tom Taylor on them or Bruno. And I'm thinking I'm kind of waiting because I want to meet Bruno first. And so, this is cool. So I love getting stuff like this. If you guys want to send us pics or video at Sig Slayers on IG, so you could at Sig Slayers or at Stash Wars Comics on Instagram. So you guys can definitely send stuff because we like to see what's happening in your neck of the woods and kind of compare notes. This is in Spain, man. So I don't know what this is like. And I mean, also Daniel Acuna was there, longtime artist as well. So there was more people than just these two. So this was a popping ass event. And you know, I wish I could have been there. But shout out to Southern Comic Geek for sharing a couple picks for Dallas Fan Expo. And we'll unpack more next week. But then also shout out to Chronicles, they got them because yeah, I've never heard of this event right here. And what's dope is that things are popping. Comics are popping globally. And we're talking about American comics are happening globally. We're getting international artists drawing, you know, their style and how they interpret our icons here. And so it's so cool this, you know, that there's conventions like this, you know, that's not happening in the States. And these guys are not American at all. So, you know, they're doing Batmans and having DC All In posters and stuff abroad. This is cool. Oh, we're gonna talk about it soon. I'm sorry. Oh, I guess I offended the Star Wars. We're gonna talk about it, man. It ain't no clickbait, but this is what we do every week. I'm sorry, Mr. Kirby, that we didn't get to the topic soon enough for you, but we're getting there. Trust me. But this is what we do every single week on Star Wars Live, and I'm going to intend to do that. But we're about to get to that in about one more minute. But yes, I love that. Desperate for clickbait. No, I can care less what people think because I'm gonna keep it real, you know, about what I do. And I was talking about Andor last week, and so if you're coming in and you're from the Star Wars tribe, okay, great. Well, let's talk about Star Wars now. And so that's my cue, I guess, to recap Andor. Okay, and so once again, this is our Star Wars. This is the May celebration. We talk about Star Wars once a year, okay? And it's Star Wars comics or Star Wars, anything Star Wars, anything that we want to talk about. And just before the month ended, I had to unleash on Andor. So first off, since people here, I don't know if Mr. Kirby, whatever his name is still here, but we can start off the conversation with what were your thoughts about Andor season 2 or Andor in general? Okay, now there was a comment here by Peter Griffin. Revolution is not for the sane. Look at us, unloved, hunted, cannon fodder. We'll all be dead before the Republic is back, and yet here we are. See, it seems like this guy liked it. I didn't mind episode 7, 8, 9 arc. Okay. And then we got Guess You Hate Slow Burn, a series, Guess You Were Bored. Thank you. This dude right here gets it with the Stanley Cup. Red 6 Dawn. Blasters, lightsabers. Well, let's talk about it. Well, instead of insults, why don't you tell us, Red 6 Down, what did you like about it? Because we like to have conversations here, and you'll be able to call in. Okay? Because we do have that. So we actually talk and engage in conversation here on Star Wars Live. And so you'll be able to talk and give your opinion. Okay? And so if you like slow burn dialogue, well, hey, this is a slow burn Star Wars Live for you then. Okay? Because we're gonna set the table. Well, for the first thing, I would like honest opinions. How did you guys feel about Andor? So let's just start there. So Red 6 Down, why don't you represent yourself and tell us what you felt? It seemed like you liked it, but what did you like about it so much? Because I didn't like it. And I think the reason why, I think you said it here, slow burn. Where's it at? Slow burn. Now, see, to me, people say slow burn, or they use terms like character development. And to me, if you got to make excuses like that, when they've been making Star Wars IP for 40 plus years, we should know what the majority of people want. And it's not just about lightsabers, but let's talk about the criteria, because I do have that criteria. And then I'll bounce that off you. So I'll start off the conversation with what Space Case says. He doesn't have Disney Plus. I'm gonna show you the Star Wars comics in a minute, and we're gonna give away stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the criteria. What I think all Star Wars stuff should kind of encompass, and then I'm gonna highlight moments. I'm gonna give you guys some visuals, some moments on what I didn't like, and also what I liked. Okay, now if I was to give Andor season 2 or Andor in general a letter grade, I'll give it a C, like a C. I'm not gonna give it a C minus, but a C. Okay, it's not that dope. Okay, I think a lot of people want to take Star Wars and interpret it into something else and go to other places with it. But I think that's what creates all the controversy, not the actual story itself. It's the fact that people try to go off the beaten path, and that's what riles up a lot of people that are Star Wars fans. Now, there is that other faction that actually like those storytelling mechanisms, like people like The Last Jedi, right? So there's people that like that. I think The Last Jedi was terrible, and I think that the last trilogy, Star Wars trilogy, was the worst trilogy because it didn't have a connective story. And The Last Jedi was the odd man out of that 3. And so to me, that's a perfect tall tale sign to kind of stick to the script. Okay, so for me, the actual recipe for Star Wars, I think, well, one, cinematography, right? That's something that all Star Wars should have in common. And I think Andor, that's the plus. I think Andor was a beautifully shot show. It was, this had me right here, like the scene 1, I'm like, holy smokes, this looks fantastic. Right? I thought it looked beautiful. So that's a no-brainer. If you got a shitty looking Star Wars movie or a Star Wars show, shame on you. So like, to me, it's a no-brainer that the cinematography is going to be great. There's going to be a great photo composition, all of that stuff. So that, to me, that goes without saying. You got to give me more than just eye candy. Okay, so clearly Andor passes that test with the eye candy. Now, I believe someone said here in the comments, lightsabers, blasters. I guess you hate slow burn series. Guess you were bored with I don't even know who that other part is. I'm terrible with names. To me, if it's good, you remember names. Okay. If it's not good, you don't remember names. Okay. And so the other element that makes great Star Wars to me is the tug of war of the Force. Okay. Period. Now, Andor, right? Andor ties into what? Rogue One, right? So Rogue One is that whole kind of prime of the Empire. Them setting up the Death Star, all of that stuff. Like, it's the prime of the Empire, or the beginnings of the prime of the Empire, however you want to look at it, and the beginnings and the rumblings of the rebellion, right? But there was already factions kind of going on, and as you see in Rogue One, so there was all these different kind of elements that kind of converged together that became the rebellion in Rogue One. And Andor kind of leads you up into that, right? It kind of shows you through, was it Andor, Caspian, whatever his name is, through his lens, kind of the rebellion and the origins of the rebellion, and how all the factions came together, and yada yada yada. Okay, so that's the whole gist of what Andor is about. I didn't think that they actually executed it well, because I felt that they spent a lot of time in areas that they didn't need to be. I thought it was slow paced. So I do agree with that. It was slow paced. It was drag on. Mom Mothma, a character that I liked, but I mean, how many times you got to see this chick cry, and what are we crying over? There's all these different scenes that didn't need to be. It wasn't really important, and people say that it's character development, but really the reality of the matter is there were just scenes. And during this time of Rogue One, Andor, all of that stuff. I mentioned the recipe, right? The second ingredient, the Force, right? This woman in what is it called? A New Hope. She says, "May the Force be with you," right? So she says, "May the Force be with you." She says it in her whole get down. When they're all, when the rebels are all converging and stuff. So it's not like the Force isn't a part of the Star Wars lore. So what's going on? The Empire, the top two head people are Force wielders, right? And they got Inquisitors deployed. We could have saw some Inquisitors. We could have saw a lot. They could have went in so many different directions, but instead we're looking at bougie ass weddings with aristocrats and all of this dumb stuff. It was boring as hell. And so I'm not saying it needed to have blasters and lightsabers, but I'm saying there were other characters already a part of the Star Wars universe that they could have used. For example, Ahsoka showed up in Mandalorian. The reason why Mandalorian is so great is because it had all those recipes. You had great cinematography, you had the Force, and you had the ebb and flow. You still saw remnants of the Empire, remnants of the rebellion, which became the Republic. So that still was there, and there's always that evolution, right? The Empire becomes the First Order, and yada yada. So there's always going to be that tug of war between the polities, right? But you still have the element of good and evil, light and dark side, and so you didn't necessarily have to have a new Obi-Wan or whatever, where you have to focus a lot on Jedis, but letting us know that they're there. And I felt that Mandalorian, they actually cracked the code on what Star Wars fans like. We like continuity. We like characters that's kind of out there that could still be developed further. And there's a lot of characters you could use. Man, I would have loved to have seen like the Bad Batch show up in this or something, or more live action Star Wars Rebels. We already saw Sabine and Ezra and all of them, and Ahsoka. It would have been cool to see them during that time period. And if they would have cut, instead of cut scenes to a freaking wedding, or Caspian getting sidelined in the first 4 episodes by being kidnapped, right? They could have like used other scenes with characters that were already developed that were around during that time that we cared about. Isn't that a good idea? And so to me, I just thought that they went away and put importance on things that was boring when there was already enough IP for that time period. They could have bridged a lot more gaps than they did. And then when you got to the end of the series, hold on, I'm jumping around. First off, like I said, slow pacing, too much emphasis on stuff that didn't matter. We can care less about this woman's daughter wedding and all of that crap. Who could care less? That's a snooze fest. Now, I like Krennic. Krennic is good. It's evil. He's sinister, right? We could have got more Krennic. Give us some more Krennic. Why we got to use these other, why we got to have a scene with grumpy mother-in-law here or whatever she was? I mean, dude, these scenes could have been omitted altogether. You mean to tell me these scenes mattered? These scenes mattered. Like, I don't care. This scene, these scenes mattered. Man, this right here, this was tough. If you tell me you liked Andor because of this, if you like Andor, because of the last couple of episodes, dude. But there were 12 episodes. 12 episodes, man. And this right here was like what, episode 2 or 3 or something? This was insane. Like, I was like, man, they could have shown us an Inquisitor scene or something. They could have gave us something more than this, man. Now, I understand Mon Mothma is an important character. We could have just had some interactions where, some of those scenes where they were whispering around, we could have like cut to that more versus all of this and having scenes of her convincing her daughter to not marry. Man, this reminded me of Game of Thrones without the sex. This was boring. This was boring as hell. Sidelining Andor here. That dude, I want to see him kick ass more. I like the way they built him up. So I'm gonna say that I like the character that he is, like the main character Andor. I do love his gravitas, so to speak. But then you get the Rogue One tie-ins. These are like at the end, man. It's like it wasn't enough to justify 12 episodes, man. 12 episodes of this chick crying a lot and dancing and space raves. We had space raves, bro. We had space raves. I could have dealt with that. Y'all telling me y'all was cool with the space raves. So y'all saying, okay, so I rather would have seen blasters and lightsabers than a space rave. I mean, let's just keep it real now. Let's just keep it real. Y'all want to talk about, lightsabers and a force, while we got space raids and weddings, with space yuppies. This is a bunch of yuppies. It was boring. And this right here, I thought, man, like this had me so hyped because it's like the first thing you see when the season starts. And then it just goes downhill like in a fast way. I'm like, oh, okay, this fool's about to jack a TIE fighter? That's crazy. I thought that was dope. But then, he don't know how to fly it, and I get all of that. But it was, to me, after he left this joint here, it was whack. Things got whack real quick. And then I didn't even want to get pictures of the whole wheat fields and the Empire trying to hit on Andor's girl or whatever. Who cares? Or all the love scenes that didn't matter. All right, now we want to get to what was called the Guardian, whatever this place was, the massacre, right? This was cool. I'm not gonna front. This was cool. I liked it. I thought this could have happened in episode 5, though. I thought this stuff could have happened way sooner, man. And I know all the comic book guys are like, dude, where are you gonna talk about comics? This is Star Wars Day, man. This is my one long token day where I could either praise or rant on something. And this is season 2 of Andor. And I get it, like Mandalorian started slow, but then it picked up season after season. By season 2 of Andor, we should have been up, like things should have been accelerated. We should have been more not snoring by episode 4 and 5. We should not be snoring in the, first 3 episodes of the second season. We shouldn't be watching crap like this. Okay. Now, yeah, this is cool. This was great. Seeing this character and seeing all the death that happened because of these type of robots. Fantastic. Fantastic. But is it worth the space rave, man? Like I said, for the people hopping in, I felt that my main gripe with Andor, season 2 and Andor in general, is the slow pacing. And then by the time we get to season 2, there was too much emphasis on a bunch of just irrelevant characters. It was too much empty calorie character development when there was too many other characters during this time period that could have went from. I would have loved to have seen a Star Wars Rebel scene, live action, them cutting it at, instead of this space rave. Adding more factions of the rebels instead of just tying it to Mon Mothma and her boring ass life. The shit was boring, dude. And then I love the Empire scenes. Some of the Empire scenes were great. But then when we got to these Empire scenes, why we got this? Who gives a crap? Can anybody defend this? That Star Wars fans that's going to defend this. I can't defend it. I got kids that's snoring. So this whole show, and like I said, I'm not going to say it was terrible, but it was slow as hell. Like her tears even came out her eyes slow, bro. Like everything about this it's Andor, An-Snore, and/or. Like it did this was not a memorable series. And if people liked it, more power to them. Everybody's entitled to their take, and this is mine. And I would love to hear your take. We're I'm going to open up the chat. If you guys got things to say, we're going to talk about it. But we have to keep it real about some of this stuff, man. We have to keep it real about some of this stuff. And I just think that, yes, once again, it had one of the elements, great cinematography. Andor had great cinematography. Andor addressed the ebb and flow of the rebellion and the empire, right? That's another crucial element, right? But it was slow. Andor did not address the third important element of a great Star Wars, and that is some semblance of the Force. Where are they? We couldn't have seen a runaway Jedi, or, like I said, Kanan and Ezra. That would have covered it. That would have covered Rebels and Force Wielders in one walk. We couldn't have seen that. But we have to see slow ass tears, dude. These tears were like crocodiles are like looking at her like, damn, you can cry faster than us. Jeez. And then this was boring as hell. No one can tell me. Can anybody defend these scenes? No. Or Sideline and Caspian. No, like, dude, like we should have saw some primetime kick-ass scenes the first 3 episodes with just him. Okay? Considering how slow season 1 started. This should have started off way quicker. And then we have this. Like, and this whole Empire couple, and who cares? Well, is this what we get because we're asking everybody how Palpatine had a granddaughter, right? So this how you address Palpatine having a family by showing us insignificant members of the Empire having a lover's quarrel with the mother? Like, this is completely unnecessary. So Andor could have been a B if they just deleted scenes like this, and definitely reduced the amount of tears of Mon Mothma. Jeez Christ. Man, how many times and over what? Come on, man. This was not entertaining. Now, the acting, the reason why I give it a C and not a D is because, yeah, the acting was good, minus a couple characters, minus these guys that you see here, had me feeling like I was watching a CW show for a little bit. So, like, this was probably the cheapest point of the whole thing, of the whole season. We could have been done without this. So you guys want to tell me you guys wouldn't have mind, instead of seeing this or this or this, you guys wouldn't want to seen a live action Rebels and got more, at least more development of how the different factions were doing in a live action setting, because the Rebels was doing something. This is not that much before and Rogue One. This is not that much far before Rogue One. The Rebels was doing shit around this time, and even if they weren't clicked up, we could have saw individual members. Like, I would have loved to see what Kanan was doing during this time versus this space rave that we saw here and a wedding and all of this stuff. Like I said, Krennic, I like Krennic. And yes, the Empire established that they were evil, right? But where was the Force for good? We didn't get that because there was no other side of the Force. These are the lackeys of the dark side. Okay? And the dark side is the main power. These guys, these little guys here, they need some kind of semblance of, the Force. I think the Force needs to be in every flipping Star Wars, anything. Okay? It doesn't have to be Jedi. It depends on what spectrum of the timeline we're talking about here. But this is pre-New Hope. So this is prime Inquisitors. This is prime a lot of shit, man. Since Disney bought Star Wars, they developed a lot of that time period. And this is the best they could do? Are you kidding me? I refuse to believe that this is the best Disney could do, man. You know, this stuff here. I would love to have seen Kanan and Ezra, Sabine. Okay, I would have loved to seen other rebel factions. I would have loved to seen more of what's Forrest Whitaker's character? I can't think of his name, dude. Forrest Whitaker's character, though. Okay, now I'm about to look that up. Forrest Whitaker. Rogue. What's his name, man? What's this dude's name? Whitaker, Rogue One. It's gonna piss me off because I know this dude's name. Rogue One. Cassian Andor. Saw Gerrera. There we go. Saw Gerrera. Yeah, Saw Gerrera, man. I would have loved to see more Saw Gerrera over this chick or this. So you got more. So you got Saw Gerrera they could have used. Man. They could even use Darth Maul or something, man. Darth Maul was still alive during this time. Anything, man. They could have. There's characters. I know Darth Maul was a stretch, but I'm saying as it pertains to Rebels, they could have used a lot more than this. There were already rebels or budding rebels or rebels in the making during this time they could have utilized instead of wasting time and space on this and this. Especially this, man. This was, to me, slow as a snail's pace. But this show lacked the Force. It did. It lacked the Force, and it lacked stronger character development from already established characters during this time period in Star Wars. Okay? We didn't need to milk Mon Mothma to death, especially if her life is this flipping boring. Or if you're going to use Mon Mothma, have a cooler storyline and a flipping wedding and all of this stuff. You know, this, and and people can explain what happened, and I get it. I understand what happened, and I'm saying I don't agree with it. Okay, I don't agree with the choices and the choices that were made, just like I didn't agree with the choices of The Last Jedi. Okay, a lot of people like The Last Jedi as well. A lot of people did, but that doesn't mean that, you know, everybody's gonna. And I believe that the stuff that happened in Andor, season 1 was slow. Everybody agreed to that. So that's not, you know, I think that's general consensus. And then there was somebody already in the comments already saying 7, 8, 9. And that's about when I started to see things heat up as well. But that's out of 12 episodes, man. And especially after season 2 and the reputation that season 1 had of starting off slow, we could have did without some of this crap here. That's all I'm saying. And hey, I'm a Star Wars junkie to the castle drop. So if Andor season 3 came out, I'm gonna watch it. But the thing was, to me, what the main thing that they failed at, and I alluded to it, is that they only kind of just connected it to Rogue One, where they could have connected it to like the whole rebellion even better. And it could have, so that way we could have saw some of the cloning stuff that Palpatine was doing, because that stuff was happening throughout the whole timeline. We could have saw all kind of stuff, man, during this time, and I refuse to believe that they shouldn't have repeated the same formula as the Mandalorian, because it worked, and the formula is in a different time period. But if you keep connecting Force, the Force, meaning the tug of war of light and dark side, the tug of war between the different polities, right? The rebellion or the republic or the new republic versus the empire or the first order. It doesn't matter. Like, that has to still be there in every Star Wars. Now, if you want to go on an offshoot and talk about, you know, space bootleggers or you know, space whatever, space gymnastics or whatever, I don't care. It has to tie into the empire, they have to run into somebody with the Force. Oh, why do we care? Okay, now Disney has already tried to establish Star Wars as something that you don't have to be dependent on Skywalkers, right? So, okay, great. You did a great job of doing that. That is not all about about the Skywalkers, and I get it. You know, there was books and comics, obviously, of all different types of spin-offs of Star Wars. But as far as the movies and the different shows, right? A lot of the stuff has Skywalker related stuff in it, if not the Force. And to me, that is a guiding thread of all of Star Wars. And if Mon Mothma said, "May the Force be with you," in the New Hope, and we ain't seen nobody that willed the Force the way that, you know, any kind of storyline or something that related to anybody that wielded the Force, right? On the light side, we didn't get none of that. And to me, there could have been more investment than that. Most of those scenes are in front of green screens anyway, so they could have did a scene anywhere and utilized. Like I said, I think they would have hit a grand slam if Andor incorporated some of the Star Wars Rebels live action. I think if that would have happened, dude, everybody would have had a nerdgasm. And so I was hoping that they were going to do that. Now, everybody's going to have some kind of expectation going into Star Wars, right? My only expectation for Andor season 2 is that it should have faster pacing than season 1, and it seemed like it was slower than season 1. So, nah, man, like Andor, I don't think they should make any more, right? Obviously, they're not, because it, you know, it's connecting. But I think that it wasn't. Obviously, it's successful because I don't think I'm the popular take. I don't know. That I'm curious to find out what people think about it. You know, what are your honest thoughts? Like, are you giving this an A+? Is this really an A+? This can't be an A+. If it's good and you like it, what grades would you give it? Because it can't be an A+, because then you will have to pit it up against things in Star Wars lore that it would not add up to be better than. Okay, even if we were to compare it to other Disney Plus shows, it's not up there. It ain't at the bottom of the barrel, but it's not at the top of the heap either. It can't be. It cannot be. You know, because most of the other shows have those elements that are good, right? That I mentioned, the Force, the Rebels / the Empires, great cinematography, but they do those 3 ingredients well. Andor, they struggled with the third criteria, which is the Rebels and the Empire. That shit was boring. That was boring. Look at this. This is the beginning of the rebellion. This is what we want to see. We want to see copious amounts of this crap, and I get it. Mon Mothma is a rich chick that lost everything and went to the rebellion. I get it, but do you have to drive it down our throats with these boring ass scenes and these boring ass tears? And why is she important? Is this who Palpatine knocks up? Let me know, guys. Let me know down the line. Is this Rey's grandmother? This could be Rey's grandmother right here, and we don't know it. Now, hey, if this ends up being Rey's grandmother, hey, then I would say Andor is the shit, bro. If this is Rey's grandmother, if that's Rey's grandmother, then hey, I'm gonna let everything go. But you and I know that this is not Rey's grandmother, right? So why the hell are we force-fed this character? Why couldn't we see an Inquisitor? Why couldn't we see some other faction of rebels? Okay? Why couldn't we see Kanan Jarrus? Why couldn't we see that? Why could we, dude? That would have been a perfect scene, like the scene of him and his master or whatever running or whatever. How far you want to go back? How close to Rogue One you want to be? They were jumping around a lot in this series, so they were time jumping in the series. So why we gotta watch this? right? So no one agrees with me. So that's a extreme take right there that I just said. That you got that I would rather see Star Wars Rebels characters, right? And see that character development and see those elements and use some of the formula that made Mandalorian so successful, right? I would rather see that over this. Okay? Or this. Or what? 3 episodes of this? 2-3 episodes of this? Come on, guys. Now, like I said, some of the Rogue One elements, yeah, I'm with you. Mainly Krennic. Mainly Krennic. We could have got more Krennic than this. I would have loved to see Krennic and Mon Mothma like get into some shit or something. Get into something crazier. Get the top billing actors having more scenes together versus all this whispering. Dude, it was like everybody was whispering. What are we talking about? Andor rules. Jane Dalton, thank you for your honest opinion. And like I said, I could be completely, in the minority in this, but I feel the way I feel. But Jane Dalton, shout out to you for commenting because I want to know, and we will. Oh, by the way, we're giving away Star Wars comics, signed Star Wars comics. In a couple minutes, I'm going to make that announcement. Okay, as I bring things back into the comic book world and get off my soapbox on Andor, right? So we're definitely going to be, chatting in a minute. But Star Wars Lives, like I said, there's no limit tonight. Make sure you put your name, your hashtag in, because I'm going to run them. And I'm giving away 3 prizes tonight. 3 Star Wars comics, 3 signed number 1s, by the way. Okay? So we're doing that tonight. But yeah, Krennic's my dude. I like Krennic. I have no issues with Krennic. Could have gave us some more Krennic, right? Could have gave us more Krennic unless this lady here or this right here, man. You know how many scenes? It was like 2 or 3 times we saw this stuff here. It was too much. So like, let me know. Said Lucas was the best. You saying George Lucas? Yeah, man. Like I'm a Star Wars fan to the casket drop, and I'm a huge Mandalorian fan, and you guys will find that out in a minute. I wasn't too down on the most recent Star Wars series. Force Awakens, I thought it was whatever. It was, they did a lot of Easter egging, and that's to be expected. But then I thought The Last Jedi was just terrible because it tried to go off the beaten path and it didn't connect to The Force Awakens. And then everybody beats up on The Rise of Skywalker for trying to connect back to The Force Awakens. Well, hello, it's part 3. Part 2 didn't connect. Part 2 went astray. And so I feel a little bit, not a lot, but I do think that this Andor was a little too cute, a little too bougie. I thought it got a little too cute, trying to be the cons, instead of being popcorn, popcorn blockbuster. They want to do some con stuff or whatever it's called, con, art festival stuff. You got to have force wielders, guys. I don't care what anybody say. It's Star Wars, not Star Rave and Star Politics, okay? You got to have some ebb and flow between good and evil. And yes, the rebels represent that, right? They represent the good part, but they also are in league with force wielders. Hello, this woman says, may the force be with you. She says that. Maybe not in this time period, but what gives Mon Mothma the faith in the force, damn it? What gives her the force? Has she met Obi-Wan? She could have met Obi-Wan in this, matter of fact. What gives Mon Mothma the faith in the force? Why the hell does she say, may the force be with you in A New Hope? We don't know. Y'all want to talk about character development. Where is that? Where was that in Andor? Okay? So if we're going to have all of that FaceTime on Mon Mothma, but we don't even get why she said, may the force be with you. When do we get that? Right? There's no force wielders. There's nobody. She's a rich yuppie. Right? Well, where's she going to have faith in the force at? Why? Right? There was no reason for her to have faith in the force at all. So when does she turn that corner, lead all the rebel forces, and say, may the force be with you? When does that happen? Why couldn't we see that in Andor? I mean, damn, there was at least 5 episodes wasted, and they were time jumping. They could have time jumped to some good shit. Not no weddings. And I swear, guys, this here, I wanted to rage throw a remote at my TV on these scenes, man. It was dry. Everybody was whispering. It's like, come on. So I get it. You know, you don't want to see lightsabers or space laser swords. People don't want to see laser swords, right? Okay. All right. But damn it, can we get more rebels? Can we get rebels that we've already seen before during this time period? Can we push that forward? Can we see Mon Mothma get more to how she ends up? Could we get a little bit more of that? You know, instead of wasting 5 episodes, right, on weddings and Andor being kidnapped for 3 episodes or 2.5 episodes, however you want to slice it. Andor was a snooze fest, man. An-Snore, okay? So for the person that said that I'm clickbait, nah, this is how I feel. Ain't no clickbait here on Sig Slayers. Ain't no clickbait here. This is exactly how I feel. And I was talking to, what's her name? Whoever, Kathleen Kennedy, whoever. I would have been like, man, why don't we have Filoni and Favreau do everything? Why can't we have that? Why we got to have all of these different renditions of something that is going to divide? Like, don't we want to bring everybody together? Like, everybody likes Star Wars, right? And so, like I said, I could be the one that's not seeing it. But to me, it's like there was 12 episodes. If it was 8, I think that it would have forced things to accelerate a little bit more. And so I felt that because you had 12 episodes, we get crap like this. Not enough him, not enough her getting where she needs to go to the familiar Mon Mothma that we're so accustomed to seeing, right? But we get this, right? Not enough this, not enough seeing these robots kill people. Not just at the end, like, you know, see more of them so we can grow to hate them more. No. We saw the Empire, though. We saw the Empire. I feel where Andor failed was, like I said, the Empire scenes I kind of liked more. I felt that they did a poor job of developing the Rebel Alliance to the point where we care about all the stuff. All those side snooze fest for TVs, all of that milk the scenes, empty calorie scenes. We could have did without that. And I just felt that Mandalorian, and I know that's a high bar to be able to follow, but I think that if you take that template and copy and paste that across the Star Wars timeline to a certain degree, you know, I definitely want to see some creativity, but to me, this was not creative. It wasn't nothing creative about this. It was all the designs. You know, yeah, I saw wherever Mon Mothma's from, you know, a bunch of, you know, half Japanese, half this, you know, mismatch of the hodgepodge of the costume design and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay, yada, yada. Star Wars does that all the time. Okay, what was so unique about Andor? Okay, because I could tell you some things that's unique about some of these other shows, right? There's a reason why Mandalorian's coming out with a movie And say what you want about the book of Boba, but the book of Boba still established not only Boba Fett as a character that had more live action FaceTime than it did with the Lucas stuff, right? Because Boba got a lot of FaceTime animated, but it also solidified the Mandalorians as a whole storyline. But they used familiarity to achieve that. They used Boba Fett, they used Ahsoka, they used Luke Skywalker, they used a Yoda, a baby Yoda. They gave us familiarity and then branched off. Andor, they gave us a bunch of people we didn't know who the hell they were for episodes. And then they did it for 2 seasons. They did that same shit. Now, I don't think that that's a recipe. Like, what is going to be the rewatch value of this shit? Now, I'm saying I saw Andor twice. Okay. I saw it the first time it came out, and then I binge watched them all the way till today. And I didn't feel better about it. It was a slog still. So what is the real rewatch value of this? Right? And I feel if they would have followed the Rogue One, I mean the Mandalorian template of tying in the Force, doing a better job of illustrating the rebels, right? The different factions of the rebels, right? And yes, they had the cinematography. They had that. See, like what did I think? Like all of that stuff, man. There were good points. So yes, I did like the rebellion speech, Saul's rebellion speech. I was saying earlier that we should have saw more Saul Guerrero. I was saying that. I don't know if you saw that, Peter Griffin. We could have saw more Saul Guerrero, more Mara, Kanan, Sabine. We could have saw a lot of those cats. Okay, we could have saw Obi-Wan. We could have saw a lot of characters, man. Because it's Star Wars. So we could have saw more connective tissues to the meta arc. They were just focusing in, zeroing in too much on Rogue One. And then they did it at the end kind of cheap and quick. I didn't like it. And so I give it a plus. It was beautiful. What kept me entertained was like even the boring scenes looked beautiful. They were beautiful. It was a beautifully shot show. I can't knock that. But if you mean to tell me, guys, that we couldn't have saw more Krennic or Saw Gerrera, less Mon Mothma tears, less whatever this lady is. Now, like I said, if she ends up being Palpatine's baby mama, hey, yo, I stand corrected. The Sig Slayers is wrong. If that lady is Darth Sidious's baby mama, hey, then I would say, hey, man, Andor, they're cooking. They just cooked, and I got cooked, right? But will that pan out? Will she be Rey's grandmother? No. The only way this woman's relevant here is if she is Palpatine's baby mama. That's it. If she's not, why is she on our screen? Okay? That's not, that to me, that was not fun. It was not like the parts that people would say is comedic relief was boring, and we could have used Kanan or the Inquisitor during that scene. Or instead of holding Caspian captive, how about he kicks ass? Why can't it be like a wolf and a cub and just kick ass all the time? Why can't we see that? What's wrong with somebody just kicking ass flawlessly? I don't see no problem with that. Somebody got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with Caspian Andor kicking ass and us being like, yo, this dude is fire, right? Why not? He has the character for it. I love his character. They didn't do his character justice, is what I'm saying. They sidelined him for damn near half the season. Come on, guys. Had him wearing a bunch of weird shit. Come on, guys. Level with me here. Am I that crazy? Am I that crazy? I can't be that crazy. Someone has to feel at least remotely the same way. At least level with me on, hey, we could have got more meaningful scenes, right? We could have got some meaningful scenes. or we could have reduced. We could have reduced the episodes by 4 and made it like 8, right? Instead of seeing crap like this. Now, like I said, man, this was fire. This was fire. I had a great time here. But this pissed me off. You know why? Why couldn't they do that sooner? And that's what I mean, man. Guess what? Baby Yoda was alive. Oh my God, I forgot. Baby Yoda was alive. We're gonna saw Baby Yoda. We're gonna saw Grogu's caretaker or something. There's so many characters gonna use during this time period. They have Blue Mixer who curls up in a ball on his bed. Yeah, man. See, you feel me a little bit, Peter Griffin. I know you kind of like. I know you like it, but you gotta admit that this was a slow show, man. And I gotta say that the rewatch value was I rewatched it just to make sure I'm not being tough on Star Wars. Okay, so I love Star Wars, and I wouldn't say anything critical about Star Wars unless I meant it. And I just feel like that there was a lot of wasted scenes here in the guise of character development. And for me, I say this in comics. If you got to say it's great character development and people don't understand, man, it can be better, dog. Because why is it that good shit is good shit all the time? Why is it that the best of the best is irrefutable and undisputed? Okay? Like most of the classics, like no one's going to say anything about Empire. No one's going to say nothing about Empire. No one's going to say nothing about the first original trilogy. Now the prequels, people want to trash the prequels. But guess what? I love episode 2. Episode 2 is dope. Episode 3 is sick as fuck. Episode 1, I take that back. Episode 2, if you take out the Naboo scenes and just skip past the Padme and Anakin love scenes, it's fresh. The Obi-Wan missions are dope. If you get off of Tatooine in episode 1, those missions are dope. So I get the criticism about the prequels, but a lot of cool things did happen. We did see Yoda fight for the first time. We did see a young Obi-Wan. We saw a lot of cool things. We saw how the Empire came to be and how Darth Vader came to be. Those are all important shit, right? Now, the Disney stuff, it didn't really need to come out, to be honest. They didn't really need to make movies. They could have just did this recipe because guess what? They hit a home run with Star Wars Rebels. So Star Wars Rebels showed them that they could do television or streaming or whatever and be successful and still carry a strong torch for Star Wars. And it's taking a streaming show like The Mandalorian to really bring Star Wars back to its original prominence. And it's because they're doing the recipe that I'm suggesting. The Ghost Crew Ezra are around at this time. Thank you. Thank you. And they skipped them picking up Monica. And it's like, dude, they could have gave us more Ghost Crew. Ghost Crew, way more than Mon Mothma's daughter wedding or sidelining Caspian. See? Hey, I like episode 7, 8, 9 too, Peter Griffin. And that's my point. Why? That's 3, right? So that means that there are 9 episodes that are trash. They could have just did like they do with those shorts, those Tales of or whatever, what they do is animated shorts. I'm cool with that. They could get more creative too. They don't necessarily have to have 10 episodes, 8 episodes. Hey, if they just did like a quick little mini series of just 5 and made it potent where it felt like a movie, that would be great. I just felt like this was not creative. This was not a creative show at all. It was dry. It felt like I was watching a soap opera, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all as far as it feeling like it should be important. Mandalorian feels important. Ahsoka feels important. Star Wars Rebels feels important. certain elements of the Bad Batch feels important. Now that Skeleton Crew, I wasn't really into that. Okay, I really wasn't into the Skeleton Crew. I really wasn't into and Andor. Obi-Wan felt important. So it's not like Disney Plus has been striking out. They haven't. I just feel like every now and then, well, mainly with the movies, they try to get too cute. And this was just, they were just trying to get too cute with this, man. This was like way too cute. Like this here, man. I got like, dude, like here, like the way, even the way she cried, they were trying to get poetic with how she cried, man. Like this right here, bro. Like I want to see the shift in Mon Mothma quicker than us having to see this and go through this agony. You know, get to more of this. I commend them on some of the Empire scenes. The little round tables were dope. The round tables was where it was at. When Empire was huddling up, talking about plans, my ears perked up. Everybody else whispering and shit at a damn wedding. I'm cool on that. And that's not Star Wars, man. That's not Star Wars. Hey, man, ain't like even the Phantom Menace, right? They had their little Senate meetings and shit, you know. And then obviously episode 3 had them a lot, but they didn't have all of that, man. Like it was too much. It was too much minutia and not enough substance that pushed the envelope. And I gotta say right here, going to this comment, what was worse, the Amon at the wedding or the power? Okay. So, I forgot about Acolyte. You just reminded me of Acolyte. So now, if Acolyte was the most recent show, I probably would be talking about that. Okay, but since Andor is the most recent one, the Power of Many song from Acolyte. Oh, dude. Okay, bro. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I couldn't get with the wedding, bro. I couldn't get with the wedding. I couldn't. The Power of Many song, that's cringe, man. It's so cringe. It's so cringe. But like, I literally was offended at the wedding. I was like, this is what they're wasting scenes on. And here's the other thing, Peter. I actually like Smiley Sith from Acolyte, but I know no one else did. Hey, I mean, there were some elements of Acolyte that I liked. But here's why I'm more critical about Andor over Acolyte. We only have one season of Acolyte. We have 2 seasons of Andor. Okay? And so the fact that so you can say that the Power of Many song, that was cringe, but that was their, you know, they swung and missed, right? But now we have season 2 with Andor and there to me, the development was slower than season 1, and you had too many cringe-worthy moments. As I think about it, though, I feel the new films were very visually great and storyboard like. Solo, Force Awakens were really good. Haven't seen Rise of Skywalker. I'm telling you, man, you're gonna, as a trilogy, those last 3 movies, you're gonna be disappointed because it's not it's not part 1, part 2, part 3. It's part 1, Detour, part 2, I guess. It's the weirdest shit ever. The entire season of Acolyte was cringe, minus the choreography. Hey, yes, you're absolutely right. Hey, Acolyte was cringe. Hey, Legion of Comics. Hey, I know I'm cooking Andor. What did you guys think about Andor? And make sure you guys are putting in your Star Wars lives. I'm giving away, and this is a good time. Let me do it right now. I'm giving away Inquisitors Book 1, and this is a Walter Simonson cover. Signed by writer Rodney Barnes. I'm giving this away tonight. Andor should have had some Inquisitors in there. Okay, so we're giving this away. Hey, Ahsoka was around during this time. I wouldn't mind seeing Rosario. We're giving this away tonight. Ahsoka number 1. Hey, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing Rosario in this. And then finally, Mandalorian number 1, season 2. And these are all going to be given away tonight. All signed by my main man, Rodney Barnes, the writer here. Okay. She's she's fantastic as Ahsoka. And hey, guess what? We're giving away Ahsoka #1 tonight. So put in your hashtag Star Wars Live. Put in your hashtag Star Wars Live so you can win a free copy of Ahsoka #1, Inquisitors #1, Walter Simonson cover, and Mandalorian #1 Season 2. We're giving away these tonight. Put in your Star Wars Live. Put them in, put them in. All right. So final thoughts about, there we go, guys. Put them in. Put them in. And guys, we're going to, please stick around for the chat. Because I want to know, if you guys seen Andor, I want to know what you think. But definitely put in your Star Wars Live, because we're giving away Mandalorian Season 1. Andor could have used somebody, a Mandalorian. There was Mandalorians around. Sabine from the Ghost Crew. Hello. Andor could have used some Ahsoka love, but didn't. And we're giving these away, by the way, tonight. And I would have loved to have seen an Inquisitor in Andor, but we didn't. And I don't know why. Okay. Our pick. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I like that, Peter Griffin. Okay, so we will let the winners pick. All right. And I'm going to pick different qualifications for the winners. The first one is going to be this. Okay. So we're going to run a draw tonight for the first prize, and the first winner will pick. Do they want the Walt Inquisitors #1, the Ahsoka #1, or the Mandalorian #1? Make sure you put in your hashtag Star Wars Live. This is the May episode. And normally we talk about comics, as people know here. We are a comic book channel through and through. This is the comic book headquarters. Okay? But once a year, we have this is the May episode, because I'm such a big Star Wars fan. And normally, you know, I'm hyping up something. I'm normally talking about the Mandalorian or something. Is it one Andor's strength, the fact that it's not overboated by all the other franchise properties? The universe is big, and Andor. So, see that right there? See that's the part where I'm saying they get too cute. That's the theory right there. Legion of Comics, thank you for this, because this comic synthesizes the notion that I reject the most. So everyone here, all Star Wars have these three ingredients in it to a certain degree. If they're executed well, everyone will like them. 1, great cinematography, right? Andor covered that. 2, the Force. Some kind of struggle between the light side and dark side of the forces, right? Ahsoka could have covered that. The Ghost Crew could have covered that. Inquisitors could have covered that. A lot of different characters during that time period could have covered that, but they didn't, and that sucked. Then you have the ebb and flow between the rebels and the Empire, and yes, I get it. Andor, that's the crux of what they address. I just say they did a slow, I don't want to say piss poor job, but a lackluster, lukewarm, because they focus too much on irrelevant characters. So if Andor is such this, you know, if the universe is so big and they can focus in on that, why do we need to see this? Okay. This was irrelevant. We didn't need to see this. I would have rather seen the Ghost Crew than this. Or how many times I got to see Mon Mothma cry? Slow ass, crocodile ass tears. I mean, this actress is fantastic. Because, I mean, how many times this woman had to make herself cry, and how many takes did it take? Jesus, she mastered it. She mastered I'm going to hold in my pain as much as I can, but I can't. And so the little tear is going to come out. Just a little itty bitty tear. All right. But this was cringeworthy. And this, man, this space rave, this space wedding. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Yeah, she's sad. Exactly. See, which Ahsoka had the Emperor in it, and Yoda, young Luke, he was alive. Yeah, exactly. I agree. All that could have happened, but at least Ahsoka tied you to Anakin. Ahsoka tied you to Star Wars Rebels. Ahsoka tied you to Admiral Thrawn. Ahsoka tied you to Mandalorian. So Ahsoka did a lot. Now we could have wished for more, but Andor, man, it left a lot to be desired. Andor left a lot. Okay, Andor didn't have nothing. Okay, they were expecting this to carry the show. Are you kidding me? This to carry the show? We're calling this character development? That's not character development, man. We ain't seen my boy to the end. I would have loved to see this cat earlier, sooner. This was cool. These points were the high points. Episode 7, things start to ramp up. But dude, it's 12 episodes. So that means there's 5 that were slow as fuck. And then the first season of Andor, I think it was like after episode 4, things kind of cranked up a little bit. So the fact that it took 7 episodes for shit to get interesting, man, come on, guys. And so I know cats. Yeah, exactly. Space Rave should have been. It should have been. You know what, man? Hey, it might be for the next hashtag, man. The tying of stories is fun, but has turned both Marvel and Star Wars into large-scale shit show. There's too much, and writers are not qualified for such an undertaking. Something has to give. Okay, I even have a solution for that. Star Wars is a story. It says Andor, a Star Wars story. So they don't have to go all into the Lucases and the fucking, all the different prequels and all that. They can just stick to the Disney shit, the shows. That's what I'm saying. If they just deal with just Rebels, Mandalorian alone, and tied to that, they did their job. Or Obi-Wan. If they just did that, they don't have to go all over the place. If they just stick to what they already established, during those time periods, they should have connected to the other shows that they already have, is what I'm saying. It's not that fucking difficult, But no, we want to be too cute and have fucking space balls and fucking soirees and shit with dudes with one braid and uneven braids and shit. It's just stupid. Disney era, man, and in 2012, when Disney bought Lucasfilm, you know what I told myself when Disney bought Lucasfilm? I got a bad feeling about this, right? But here's the thing, guys. I'm cool with Mandalorian. Space Rave Braids. Yes, there we go. Now we're talking, man. Now my people are in the chat, man. I mean, I was getting. Some dude thought I was clickbaiting, y'all. Some dude thought I was, oh man, it's the most clickbait, man. Ain't no clickbait about me. I don't care what people think. I tell y'all what I think. You know what I mean? And then y'all tell me what you think, right? But this is real, honest to goodness criticism. This is not. I love Star Wars, and I just felt like they missed a big point. You don't have to tie it to all the Lucas stuff and go all that far. If they would have kept it just with the Disney stuff and made that the world that they swirl around in, people would have liked that. Space Ray Braids. I love it, man. Hey, man, you guys are cooking tonight. So that's my last thoughts on Andor, guys. I don't want to spend. I already got an hour and 20 minutes, and I've been very critical, but I do give it a C. I give it a C. The cinematography was great, but dude, a lot left to be desired. Like I said, I would have rather seen the Ghost Crew over this or over the Space Raid Braids. As you guys were saying, or Mon Mothma tears. Hashtag Mon Mothma tears. Jesus. Now, guys, I'm gonna tell you this. Episode 1, and I saw this, I got so pumped, and then I got let down. So Space Raid Braids, guys, that's fantastic. That is hilarious. Just read the earlier comments. What did you think about of Dune? You know what? I haven't seen Dune yet, and so I'm gonna check it out. I will check it out. I'm more of a comic book guy. okay? But my love for Star Wars goes back further than my love for comics. So I always pay homage to Star Wars every May. And this is the last Friday, and this is the only day I had time to talk about Star Wars. So I usually interview somebody from Star Wars, but I felt so freaking bothered by Andor that I had to make it a topic on Star Wars Live, dude. I'm in for a treat. Oh, cool. I'm gonna check it out, man. Thank you for suggesting it. Thank you for suggesting it. So, the next topic. Here we go. Now we talked about Star Wars. Now it's time for Star Wars Stash Wars. Okay. So just reminding you guys, I'm probably gonna run that raffle in about 10 minutes. So put your hashtag Stash Wars Live in. Okay. How are those Murderbot comics? Or is that a book? I don't know. I'm unsure about that. Okay, so, in the comic book world, I'm a DC guy, mostly, but I got Star Wars. Because, I did go gaga over some Star Wars stuff. But, so the first winner will pick their comic tonight. It's Inquisitors. Andor could have used some Inquisitors. I like Mandalorian just where it's at. I don't want to see I don't want to see Dan in there, and he was young. But I would have loved to see Sabine or any of these people on this cover. Even what's that dude named Balin Skull or whatever his name is in the back? Seeing him back then in those days, what was he doing? He was around. I just felt that they dropped the ball on connecting some of these characters that they already established on Disney Plus. So I'm going to run these in a minute, but I'm going to show you guys my comics that I have. But hold on. It wouldn't be Star Wars Live. Guys, I got an unboxing to share. I got something from Alex Ross. So I'm going to unbox this really quick. This is not Star Wars Alex Ross, but I do got some Star Wars stuff. But I'm going to unbox this real quick to see what I got from Alex Ross art. Really quickly. Quick unboxing. Oh, you guys gonna like this. All my comic people are gonna like this. I don't know if there's any more Star Wars people in here, but like I said, we're gonna talk about Star Wars comics in a minute. But this is beautiful. Alex Ross, certificate of authenticity. And then look at this, guys. Batman 158, Hush 1, Alex Ross. This is probably a YouTube debut right now. I don't think anybody did an unboxing on this yet. So you guys get to see this first. So, what is Mike the Six Layer without showing at least one Batman comic in live? And it got this from Alex Ross here. Go. Here we go. Oh, that's cool. And this, so this, I just got this today. I decided to wait and hold it and unbox it and show you guys it. So this is probably first look, guys, up close. So this is Hush 2, but this is an Alex Ross variant and it's a landscape. So yeah, want to show you guys this before we show you some heat. So now we're back in the Star Wars mode. Big Mandalorian fan, man. This here, I think this is the first ever cover of Mando here. And so I went nuts for Mandalorian. When it came out on comics, I got them. And I just want to show you guys my progress on the signatures on Mandalorian. Now, I need this sign, and I believe this is Chris Sprouse. Yeah, Chris Sprouse did this. I haven't met Chris Sprouse, and so that's why I don't have that sign. But if I ever meet Pedro Pascal, I'm getting these. So this is Mandalorian book 1. second print. Yep, second print here. And it's signed by writer, artist, and inker. So this is Rodney Barnes, Georges Genty, and Carl Story. And then here's another one. So if I ever meet Pedro Pascal, I'm getting these joints right here. So Mandalorian, you know, this is our Star Wars. This is the May. We talked about Andor already. You guys can rewind and hear what my thoughts about that. But I moved on. And yeah. And we're going to keep cooking. So now we're with the first prints, right? This is 4-time signed. Adi Gradov, Rodney Barnes, Georges Genty. And then gonna do a rapid fire. I got hell of these, but I want to show you guys. So this is book 2, book 3. I really like this one. I'm mad that I didn't get Georges Genty on this. This is his cover, and I think it's his only cover. It was funny, like during this time of Mandalorian, I was like, hey man, this is kind of slow. But even they made these episodes pay off in the end. Yeah, got Mandalorians. These are my joints right here, guys. Only Star Wars joint. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. So this is like season 1. Now, I believe this is key because this is the first appearance of Unmasked Din right there. So that's first Unmasked Din right there. Unmasked Din Djarin from The Mandalorian. So this could be a key one day because that's the first time you see Din unmasked. And then here is my season 2, book 1, signed by Carl Story and Rodney Barnes. And then here's book 2. And these are all season 2. Oh, no, it's both season 1. No, season 1. But wait, there's more. What I love about, I don't know if you guys watched it, Mandalorian, you guys see the concept art. The concept art is one of my favorite segments of Mandalorian, and they also have the concept art covers. And these are fantastic. So this is season 1, Mandalorian concept art. This is Star Wars. This is the May. The last Friday of the month. This is my annual Star Wars celebration. I'm showing you guys Sig Slayers Star Wars books. And this is the concept art covers of The Mandalorian. These are fantastic. Rodney Barnes, Georges Genty, Carl Story. I love this one here. All concept art. And then I have another one. And Georges drew Din on there to go with Grogu. So the artist of The Mandalorian hooked that up right there. And then that's 5. So yeah, man, I went ham on The Mandalorian. I love these comics right here. This is making me want to watch The Mandalorian. In all honesty. This cover is insane. What's his name? Moff Gideon? What up? Moff Gideon, bro. So who's our Moff Gideon in Andor, huh? What character did we go away with like, oh, that's a sick-ass character? I want to get that memorabilia from that character. Not. Ain't nobody from Andor you wanting something from that you already didn't have already. Krennic was in Rogue One. But Moff Gideon, though, that's what makes Mandalorian so dope. And that's book 1, right? And that's season 1. And then I got season 2. They don't have season 3 yet. But I got season 2 kind of started. I need to get more SIGs on this. But these are freaking fantastic. Look at that. Look at this. See, where's our scenes like this in Andor? Where's our moments? What, you got a bunch of people crying and whispering? But look at these shots. These shots made the show. These are, man, there you go. Here we go. Force wielders. You got Ahsoka. See, this is what Andor was missing. Fire, guys. I love these. Man, this is making me hyped to watch Mandalorian. And this, oh my God. Where was our moment like this? What, a massacre? People get massacred all the time. You guys had our Order 66? It didn't do nothing. The Order 66 ain't dead already. But this scene right here, the unsheathing of Luke's lightsaber as he steps on the scene. Where was our moment in Andor like this? Especially season 2, guys. Did we get a moment like that? We did not. And then now we're in season 2. Yes. So, and then, but wait. I showed you guys this, right? Like I said, I'm a big Mandalorian fan. And so I went nuts on Mandalorian comics. But then also, look at this, guys. This is an actual drawing of Din the Mandalorian by the interior artist, Georges Genti. Georges Genti. I saw Georges in Vegas, and he did this. So this is fantastic. This is Cyril's mother is that character. That's funny as hell. Make sure you put your Star Wars lives in, guys. About to give away the first book. I'm about to give away the first book right now. So, yes. So, that's my one-man Star Wars, guys. Now, hold on 1 second. Here we go, guys. Here's the link in the chat, guys. Tell me what you think about Star Wars. Oh, I'm hot. I'm sweating and shit. Tell me what you think about Star Wars. There's a link in the chat. You will not be seen. You will only be heard. Tell me what you think about my takes. Am I crazy? Am I insane to want more out of Andor season 2? Tell me what you think. Call in. Let us know. What do you know about Star Wars? What's your thought on Star Wars since Disney bought it? Lucasfilm. Give us your take. And so the second prize will be the first person who calls in will get to pick. So we're going to do a raffle. Anybody call in, they'll get to pick the next prize. And then we'll do another raffle with a new hashtag. And that'll be our show. But hey, a caller can call in right now and get first dibs. So the caller right now will get first dibs on these 3 books. Inquisitor, this one right here, though, y'all, that's Walter Simonson. Okay. FYI. Ahsoka #1. And Mandalorian #1. So call in. Let us know what you think about Andor. So the first person calls in will win either one of those 3 books. Okay. And we're definitely going to do hashtag Star Wars Live. Okay. So we're definitely going to run this. So 2 winners are going to be selected from a randomizer here. One of our winners will be selected as a call-in. Okay. And we're talking about Star Wars. So this is our link right there. Just click it and I'll let you in and no one will see you. They'll just hear you. And I'm curious. What's your take on Star Wars since Disney purchased Lucasfilm? And what is your take on Star Wars comics too? Because this is a comic show. So is there anything that you're reading? I'm showing you guys my Mandalorian stuff, right? If you want to be seen, I can show you too. Yeah, if you want to be seen, yeah, that's no problem. A lot of people don't. So I like to throw that out there to entice. If you want to be seen, even better. And if you hop on, you will get first dibs on the prize. So Legion of Comics for sure. That is for sure. You'll be able to get on. Okay, yeah. Well, okay, yeah. So definitely the first caller that calls in will get first dibs on the prize. And there we go. Legion of Comics.
What's up?
Hey, what up, man?
I didn't know if you could hear me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Okay, so what do you want to talk about, man? It's Star Wars. This is the May. So we have people, in the chat was like, yo, man, you're clickbaiting. No, I'm not clickbaiting. I did give my criticism on Andor. First off, did you see Andor?
No, not caught up with Andor.
Okay, so
it was historically boring to me, and it was one that I would come back to at a later date. I think
see?
there's like two camps of people for Andor. You have the people that watched it and loved it. It was like their favorite piece of Disney Star Wars era. And then the other camp is the people that dropped it at episode 3 because it was boring. I'm on YouTube a lot. I talk to countless people, and like that's the majority. There's exceptions to all rules, but that is the majority. Those are the two camps. There's not many people in your camp that watched it all and are a little more critical of it. So I appreciate your opinion.
I appreciate that research because I didn't know that. I just give my take, and I try to, some things I might say is boring, and then when I watch it again, maybe I was tired or whatever, and then I watch it again, and I'm like, oh man, I was too hard on it. No, not with Andor, man. So I think I do fall into that camp of not really liking it. It was too slow. But I just felt like at this point with season 2, considering we know what era they're spinning off on, that they could have used a lot more characters from different aspects of the Star Wars lore, like Rebels, like the Inquisitors. I mean, Obi-Wan.
I'd fully push back against that. I think we need so much less of that in not just Star Wars, but in Marvel, and even with them starting up the DCU, it's very, very comparable. We're past that, man. We're past this interconnectivity, weighing stuff down, running fans away, not letting new people have a gateway to entry. Your writers are too busy trying to play fan service to themselves than they are concerned with writing a good story. And whether Andor has cringe moments or not, it seems like it's objectively a well-written, well-executed television series. Whether it's not your pace or not, like it seems like they checked off the boxes of what's needed to tell a fulfilling story, though. And we miss that in so much with them just playing with their own franchise. They've turned this stuff into fast food cinema crap these days.
So where would you find a happy medium? Because I feel that
that's where the creatives come in. That's why they get paid money to do what they do. We can watch these products and we can tell you how we feel and what we think after them, but I'm not out there writing them for a reason. I'm not pretending to be talented enough to do that. But I've watched television, I've watched movies my entire life. I've worked at the lower end of the movie industry and the distribution stuff for years, and I can tell you that I can spot a turd from a mile away, and that's what a lot of this has turned into.
Yeah, but there were bright spots. Like I said, Mandalorian, for the most part, people generally think that was well made, and
first two, yeah.
Huh?
The first 2 seasons, yeah. The third season was a dumpster fire.
So yeah, so there's people that felt that way, and there's other people that liked it. There's people that like Ahsoka. But I'm saying, if you was to poll, on average, did you like The Mandalorian? More people would say yes than no. You know what I mean? Because why would they
caveat that? They would definitely caveat that. And I think people remember most like the last thing they touch. So in something like The Mandalorian, I think you'd get more people trying to qualify it than just simply saying yes, because that third season was so ill received.
But then you got something like Andor, where if people were to poll and like, did you like Andor? I think it would be more split. And
they would just say I didn't watch it.
That's what I mean. It would be split, and people would not like. So to me, like, it can't be good if it's split. Last I checked, 50% is a fail. Okay, so like it can't be good if half the fan base, and they're all 100% of the fan base says that they're diehard Star Wars fans, but then half of us like it. And so, like, there has to be something better than, and then we all can recall and share similar moments where we said, hey, this was a cool Star Wars moment. So
Andor completely dominated, though. Season 2 dominated the critics and the fan charts for reviews and ratings. Like it's super
yeah.
high, but I think it's just a thing of like it's a disinterest, right? Like Skeleton Crew got high reviews, but it's like super low viewership. I think people are checked out at this point. Like, I mean, it's the people that watch Andor are going to be the people that have a disposition to like Andor, or the people who are I'm the watch everything crowd kind of people. You know, it's not drawing in new fans. You don't have very many critical eyes watching something like Andor.
Okay, so Mild Pickles, my title is Asinine. Tell me why. And you can call in, by the way, because we're talking to viewers right now. But let's have a discussion. I don't want to insult. Like I spent an hour and some change actually giving some critical takes on why I thought Andor was boring and not worth the hype. And I wish he was around for that. But yeah, give me more than my title is Asinine, because I feel my title is my title, and I stick by it. And I was around on this live for an hour and some change defending my title. And so now we're talking to the viewers, and we have Legion of Comics here giving some fantastic takes. And so I want to shift gears, Legion of Comics, and ask you, okay, so now let's talk about good stuff, because obviously you're a Star Wars fan. You fell in love with it at some point. What was your most recent high point on Star Wars?
Where do you want to draw the line for recent? Do you want to call it like the sequels forward, or do you want to call it the Disney Plus era? What?
I'm going to say since Disney. So let's say 2012.
So the sequels forward, high point, not Andor, Mandalorian season 1 as it released. That was definitely the high point. I mean, is that even debatable? It'd be hard pressed to find somebody who feels differently.
Man, okay, man, I love that, man. You cook, man, and Brave Soul called in. Like anybody can type some stuff. A braver soul can call in and tell me your take.
Before I dip out real fast, I'm giving you some good takes. Let me give you a hot take. My absolute favorite piece of Star Wars, anything ever to exist, is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and I would die on that hill and debate anybody to the cows come home.
Wait a minute, we're on the same page, bro. I was talking about that earlier.
You're kidding me. You're kidding.
Episode 2 is the shit, man. Obi-Wan's missions, all of that stuff.
Dude, Django, like Mace Windu, like get out of here. Like,
get out of Episode 2 is the shit,
Up
man.
until that minute, it was only a line of dialogue for my entire life. I fought beside your father in the Clone Wars, but now we're seeing it.
Like, yeah, dude, Episode 2,
Yoda letting go. Like,
see, we're on the same page. All right, man. You get first dibs. Which one you want? You want the Walt Simonson's Inquisitor signed by Rodney Barnes #1? Do you want Ahsoka #1 signed by Rodney Barnes, or do you want Mandalorian #1 season 2 signed by Rodney Barnes?
I'm gonna go with that Mandalorian because I'll post it up next to my Star Wars black figure of the sheriff there that I have.
Okay, so this is yours. I don't know if you have DM'd me, but Star Wars Comics on IG or Sig Slayers at Sig Slayers on IG, so I can get your information. For all the people that won, I am shipping out everything on Monday. Monday was Memorial Day. Monday is normally my ship out day. So I'm going to be shipping out all the prizes for the past couple of lives on Monday this upcoming week. So Legion of Comics, this will be a part of that shipment, man. Thank you so much for joining the call, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a good night.
Peace. So my man, Legion of Comics, he won this. There we go. And so now we're going to raffle off these right now. Now, Moo Pickles. I want Moo Pickles. I want people to have opinions to share them. Other than attack, we got to get past the attacking. I'm a fan. I'm not a critic. I'm not a writer. And this is a fan show. Hello, we're giving away free comics to fans. So when you come on this channel, you're going to get the fans' take. And you can't tell me, Moo Pickles, that it's a unanimous that Andor is great. You're not going to say that because that will be a lie, okay? Andor is not unanimously great. And so if it's not unanimously great, and what I mean by that, not even by unanimously, majority great. So at least 70-30. Give me that. It's not even 70-30. So if it ain't 70-30, and it's 50-50, it's not worth the hype, dude. It's not worth the hype. So I'm going over the overlays one more time before I get out of here and before I raffle off these other books. Because tell me this was great. Unnecessary scenes. Okay. Now, I agree with a lot of the caller said that there might be too much tie-in fatigue, right? So there might be some credence to that. Okay. But I'm saying there was not enough familiarity in Andor, you know, and seeing all of these other characters that's not going to amount to a hill of beans in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to cut. It's not good enough. So if the reviews are split and it's polarizing, that's not good. 50% is a fail. 50% is a fail. But I'm not calling Andor a fail. I'm calling it a C because it looks nice and there are some cool moments in it. But I just felt there's a lot of fluff scenes, and whatever people call as character development, I say that's a snooze fest. Not enough creativity in that. Now, I'm not a writer. I'm not knocking on the writers. Hey, I watched it. So the writers and everybody, you got views. I saw the season twice. So I saw every episode twice. Okay, so that's 24 times. Okay, each episode 12, right? So it got two viewings out of me. Okay, so I can give my take on this because they at least got my views, and so they're gonna get my take as a Star Wars fan. Okay, and so if you got your opinion, that's great, but we got to get back into the world of having dialogue and let's converse. That's why we have the opportunity to call in, because we don't have to attack. You know, we could actually, hey, tell me why you think it's cool, because hey, you might shed some light on things. What if your opinion might give me another look at it? I know me and the last caller didn't agree on everything, but it did make me think about things. Okay. And so that's the whole point. The whole point is to talk as a community, but with respect, guys. With respect. Now, I didn't say anybody on Andor was an idiot or that they suck. I stuck to the points, and I just felt there was a lot of unnecessary scenes like this, the space rave, the mom, sideline and Caspian for the 3 episodes. Those are critical points, okay? So I gave reasons other than, oh, it's stupid, it's awful, you know, it's asinine, you know what I mean? I gave reasons. So that's what we got to start communicating. Let's stop attacking people because we have the ability to communicate. Let's communicate for a reason, please. Now, let's run this, because I'm like, yo, who's going to win this? We have 7. We have 8 people in. You can put your hashtag Star Wars Live, and you get to pick between Inquisitors #1 sign or Ahsoka #1 sign. Now, I believe I would have loved to see anybody from the Ghost Crew in Andor. To me, instead of the space rave and all of that, I would have loved to see any one of these characters. Okay? So you can put your hashtag Star Wars Live in. Use your hashtag. Use your hashtag. Like my man here, Jaffe Castro. All right. So Jaffe Castro, he put his in, man. You know what up. Make sure you put your hashtag Star Wars Live in. I'm about to run this right now for the first giveaway. Bam. K Green Bear. Are you in the chat still, K Green Bear? You are a 2-time winner, and it pays to be on Star Wars Live, okay? K Green Bear, tell them, man, you got some sick Batman shit for me. But K Green Bear, if you're in the chat, you get first dibs. Now, if you're not here by the next giveaway, because I'm about to put the next hashtag up right now, whoever's in the chat that wins gets first dibs. So I'm about to run this again. And please, guys, yes. Sig Slayers on IG, at Sig Slayers on IG. Our handles are all at the bottom of our videos. Our handles are on our home page on YouTube, so you can reach us there, either Sig Slayers or Star Wars Comics, and give us your contact information so that we can get your book to you, your prizes to you. We're going to be shipping everything out on Monday. And just to let you guys know, I'm shipping this out. Somebody already won this in previous weeks. Somebody just won this tonight. Somebody won this, but signed and remarked by Jeff Johns. So somebody just won that already. That's getting shipped out. Somebody won this. And this is so cool. Already signed and remarked by Jeff Johns. So this is all going out on Monday. Legion of Comics won this tonight. And now, and K Green Bear, if K Green Bear is in the chat, he gets to pick one of these. Now, while K Green Bear is getting an opportunity to decide or hop back on, I'm going to give the next hashtag, guys. All right, guys. And since I feel so strongly about this, guys, here we go. Hashtag Space Rave. Hashtag Space Rave. Hashtag Space Rave. And you can win one of these. Hashtag Space Rave. Okay? So if anybody want to ask me why I didn't like Andor, hashtag Space Rave. Hashtag Space Rave. Anybody want to say my title is asinine? I tell you, hashtag Space Rave. Okay? And that's why my title's in there. Hashtag Space Rave, guys. And you get to pick, okay? Hashtag Space Rave. And you get to pick. So anybody coming in here wanting to defend Andor, defend Andor. Tell us in the chat why Andor is cool. Call in. Call in. Call in. Anybody that think Andor is cool, want to defend the honor of Andor, call in right now. No one will see you. Otherwise, hashtag Space Raid. Because guess what? Hey, man, you can't defend that. That's like trying to defend LeBron in 2011. You can't. You can't defend hashtag Space Raid, guys. You can't. Hashtag Space Raid. Hashtag Space Rave. If you want to win, where they go? We got 2 prizes. One is already won, but guess what? This next raffle get the pick because K Green Bear hasn't came in the chat and told me what book he wants. So that means that this giveaway that we're going to run in a few minutes is going to set the table. So hashtag Space Rave, guys. Hashtag Space Rave. While I guys got you here, ever doing hashtag Space Rave? Get your hashtag Space Raves in. While we're doing that, I got news, guys. Oh my goodness. I got some news for y'all. Okay. On Thursday, we got Marv Wolfman on Sig Slayers, y'all. Okay. June is going to be popping, and I'm going to make those announcements via social media on Monday of our fantastic June and July. We got a fantastic summer. We're booked all the way to August, y'all, with fantastic interviews. Hall of Famers. Okay, so this is Sig Slayers, the Sig Slayers Station, comic book headquarters. Okay, and what you witnessed was our This is the May recap. Okay, so next week we won't be talking about Star Wars. Next week we're talking about good old comics and might have a panel. Okay, but now we're kind of turning the page and getting into that because we have the great Marv Wolfman joining us. Make sure you put your hashtag Space Rave in. Hashtag Space Rave for the win. For the win. Hashtag Space Rave. Okay. So we're doing that. But back on Marv Wolfman, guys. Tell us in the chat, what is your favorite Marv Wolfman story? Marv Wolfman, obviously the creator of Nightwing, writer of the most epic DC crossover and first DC crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths. But this dude is a legend. He's the creator of Blade. I mean, so many things. K Green Bear, you're back. You won. K Green Bear, you won the first one. Which one do you want, K Green Bear? If I could put him right side up. There we go. K Green Bear. Which one you want? Do you want Ahsoka #1 or Inquisitors #1, K Green Bear? Which one you want? Yep. Tell him, Tino. Shout out to Tino73, man. Shout out to him, man. And shout out to all the cats that come through on Fridays. I'm gonna let you guys know something because we're in the Sig Slayers Updates. We're gonna be doing a live claim sale with Doug Mankey, the great Doug Mankey's art rep. So that means we're gonna have Doug Mankey original art for sale. We're gonna have comics for not just Doug Mankey, from a lot of artists. And so we're working on that. So sometime in June, one of these Star Wars Live is going to be, we're going to promote the hell out of it. It's going to be an awesome claim sale. And so I'm just letting you guys know because we're in the Sig Slayers update portion of the show as we're waiting on more space raves. Okay. Hashtag space raves. All right. Let these cats know. Let these cats know. Hashtag space rave. Okay. Why I got ain't worth the hype on my thumbnail? Here it is. Hashtag space rave. Yeah. And holler at me later. Okay. This hashtag says it all. Okay. Okay. Are we clear? All right. But otherwise, if you think Andor is good, I'll let you hop on the live. I'll let you hop on the live. Tell us why. Right? We can talk about it. You might win me over. But until then, guys, hashtag space rave, because that's the reality in the Sig Slayers world. Now, back to Marv Wolfman. Can I get some comments on what's your favorite Marv Wolfman, please? Can we pay this man respect? This is Marv Wolfman we're talking about. The great Marv Wolfman. Okay? The great Marv Wolfman. Can we give him some respect? What's your favorite Marv Wolfman story? Throw in some titles. This is Marv Wolfman. He will be on Sig Slayers on Thursday. And then the floodgates open. All right. I should call it a Hall of Fame June. Okay. Because June is going to be popping. Let us know in the comments what's your favorite Marv Wolfman. Okay. And then I'm definitely I'm just slowly getting back into life, with this newborn here. So between the newborn and then trying to curate whatnot and all that. So I'm going to do whatnot. I'm probably going to do a surprise whatnot, guys. But I'll let you guys know on IG when I'm doing it. So I'm definitely going to do whatnot next Saturday, but I'm probably going to do whatnot before Saturday as well. Because I miss whatnot. I miss, talking shit on whatnot. Whatnot's a great place to talk shit. So I'm gonna do whatnot. But yeah, so we got Marv Wolfman. Since nobody want to give Marv Wolfman love. Jeez, you guys don't like Marv Wolfman like that? Hashtag Space Rave. I'm trying to give a couple more people some time to put that hashtag Space Rave in, because that's what we about. Yes. Okay, so the Ahsoka. So that means wow. Okay, so Legion of Comics won the Mandalorian #1. K Green Bear won the Ahsoka, baby. That's sick. That's sick. So that leaves the winner. And for me, to be honest, this is the one I would have picked. So the fact that this one is the last one, this is the one that I want you guys to have the most. This is the one I was like, oh man, the Walter Simonson Inquisitors. This is the one that I wanted you guys to have the most. So I'm glad that this is the last one. Congratulations to K Green Bear. Congratulations to Legion of Comics. And congratulations in advance to this next winner. So, hey, Tino the man. Tino the man. Shout out to Tino. So, yeah, let us know, man. Marv Wolfman is going to be on the show on Thursday. So let us know if there's anything. Is it Crisis on Infinite Earths? Is it Teen Titans? Is it Batman? I mean, he created Tim Drake, for Christ's sakes. Created, I think he created Peacemaker too. Yeah, I think Marv Wolfman created Peacemaker. So, I mean, there's a lot. Marv Wolfman, legend. And I definitely want you guys to give him some props and check out the show on Thursday. That'll be airing 5 o'clock Eastern on the Sig Slayers station. Every Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern, we got a new interview. I think we're the only channel on YouTube that got new interviews every week from bangers, okay? Animation and the comics. All right, so Marv Wolfman next week, and then stay tuned to our social medias to find out our awesome announcements for June. Awesome slate. And then we'll be opening the floodgates with our Comic-Con previews, because I think Heroes Con is coming up. A bunch of stuff happening in June. So we're going to do our Comic-Con previews again. Hashtag Space Rave. All right. While we're waiting on hashtag Space Raves. Yes, there we go. There we go, Tino. Get a man some props. I just wanted somebody to put some props for Marv Wolfman on the screen, because I mean, you dedicate your life to this art form. He's definitely a legend. There's so many good Marv Wolfman titles. Daredevil 31, First Bullseye, Tomb of Dracula, Teen Titans. There you go, Tino. I know you know your shit, man. But just real quick before I do this drawing, in case people want to come in and see if I'm talking about Andor, right? Okay, so just to recap, I personally feel that they could have added characters from some of the other shows that pertain to the rebellion, and instead of sidelining Andor here, or showing us tears over here, or hashtag Space Rave over here, or this could potentially be Darth Sidious' baby mama. Okay, the only way I'm gonna give this character a pass is if she ends up being pregnant with Rey's parents, or one of Rey's parents. Otherwise, waiting to episode 7, 8, 9 for shit to pop off like this, miss me when it's episode 12. But yes, I mean, there's 12 episodes. But yes, I did like Krennic. But no, hashtag Space Rave was not the business, dog. And so that's what we're going to end the show with. Hashtag Space Rave, okay? And if you haven't seen Andor, watch it. Holler at me on Friday and tell me, was I wrong about hashtag Space Rave? Okay? Tell me, was I wrong? All right? So here we go. As always, guys, may the force be with you. I know. That's Star Trek and Star Wars. Anyway, may the force be with you all, because I'm about to run the numbers. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. They never did tell us who Cyril Uncle was. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was far from perfect. Peter Griffin, make sure you put in hashtag Space Rave right now if you haven't already, so that you could win a prize. I don't know if you did, but I hope you've been a fantastic contributor to the chat tonight. Thank you so much, and be sure to subscribe, guys. This is the Sig Slayers station, right? And then we got cool stuff, and yeah, I want to show that. No, I'm not going to show that. There we go. Peter Griffin with his hashtag Space Rave, and just so you know, what you could potentially win is the Inquisitors. Like I said, I wish we could have saw some form of Inquisitor or some form of Inquisition in Andor. So this is an Inquisitor #1 variant cover by the great Walter Simonson, and so he doesn't do a lot of stuff anymore. So like, that's something that I want to give away. So put in your hashtag Space Rave right now, because we're about to run it. So, like I always do, guys, if you want me to roll it, tell me to roll it in the chat. The first roll it, I'll roll it. But I'm not rolling it till somebody tell me to roll it. I will roll it on the first roll it. And we're rolling it for this Inquisitors #1. Okay? So the first person to say roll it in the chat, we will roll the prize off. So tell us, roll it in the chat. Roll it. There we go. Leave it to Space Case Collectibles and Tino 73. Shout out to Space Case and shout out to Tino. We about to roll it right now, y'all. And this is for Inquisitors #1. Thank everybody in advance that came in, contributed, both positive and negative comments. I love it all. Fantastic night, guys. May the force be with you all. See, that was something that was missing. Peter Griffin, I'm so glad you won. Peter Griffin, man, you were like the first person to really like engage in the Star Wars conversation tonight. You contributed. You gave your honest opinion, Peter Griffin. The force was with you. Peter, you win this Inquisitors #1 by the great Walter Simonson, signed by writer Rodney Barnes. Congratulations. The Stash fam is congratulating you, Mr. Peter Griffin. You deserve it, because you really was a fantastic member in the chat tonight. Guys, make sure you guys are smashing the like button, please. Please hit the like button. It really helps us out. Please subscribe to the Sig Slayers station. All the winners tonight, make sure you go to our homepage and either going to look next to my Marvel Hustle. There we go. Going to look good next to my Marvel. There we go, man. And it's signed, guys. And then these will have certificates of authenticity as well. So all the winners will receive all the signed stuff will have certificate of authenticity moving forward. So this will be official Sig Slayers merch that you guys are winning tonight. Okay, signed by the great Rodney Barnes. Rodney Barnes was just a guest on the show 2 weeks ago, by the way. So Rodney Barnes is a fantastic writer of many things, but he's written so many Star Wars titles. And so I thought it would be appropriate on our Star Wars, this is the May celebration, to commemorate it with some kind of Star Wars prize. This is our Star Wars. This is the May. And I just want to show you guys, hey, once again, a quick little flash, show you guys some of my Star Wars stuff for the guys that missed some of my cool stuff. I'm a big Mandalorian fan, and I'm just showing you guys. I got all the season 1 signed, and I'm working on season 2. These are the standard covers, but what really makes the Mandalorian comics so cool is they have these concept art covers from the movie. And I'm almost at that point where I'm nerdy enough to find the artist who did these actual concept pieces. I'm pretty sure they're going to be around somewhere in a D23 or whatever Disney con they have. So yeah, man, these are, this is a rare Marvel moment for Sig Slayers, because this is where I have a bunch of Marvel stuff, because I'm a huge Mandalorian fan, and these are fire. But where's it at? This here is absolutely fantastic. That's fantastic. So I was showing you guys that, and then here's a little bit of season 2. Here's a little bit of season 2 here, since I was showing you guys, stuff, man. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I will be remiss, like, I'm not like some, Star Wars pundit, or people, no. This is Star Wars. This is the May. We talk about Star Wars once a year, and it's usually we talk about anything Star Wars. I've interviewed Star Wars artists. I've had Star Wars artists do demos on the show for the This Is the May celebration. And so this year, I really felt strongly about Andor, considering it being the second season and it being as slow as it was for season 2. And so I thought it deserved some kind of criticism, because it's like you can't repeat those same mistakes twice, and apparently they did. And so, yeah, so that's where we were going with that. But I can't stress enough how important this interview is to us and the Sig Slayer family, to have someone like Marv Wolfman on our channel this upcoming Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern. So please check us out. Check out some of our other interviews as well, because we're killing it in the interview department, and you guys haven't seen nothing yet. So all the winners, be sure to contact us at Sig Slayers on IG or at Stash Wars Comics. Either one. Our social media handles should be at the bottom of this video, and it's definitely on our homepage, so you have no issues with getting in contact with us. So all the winners, even if you won already in the past, just to make it easier on me, so I don't have to look for it, because I get a lot of DMs, just DM me your address one more time, so that way it's fresh at the top, and then I can just copy and paste that and get that out to you guys on Monday. So guys, that's all for a show, man. Thank all the people that came in. I do want to show you guys something, just to end things on a cool note. Since we're doing things Star Wars related tonight, I wanted to make sure I ended things on a cool note. So I'm gonna do this here for you guys. Where's it at? Playlist. Pulling this. There we go. I want to share this. I want to share this for you guys right here. Shout out to the great Doug Mankey right here. This is our Star Wars animation. Let us know what y'all think. Check this out. I have to show you guys that, man. Shout out to the great Doug Mankey. Catch Batman Riding Dirty. Catch Batman Riding Dirty. Now, Peter Griffin, you could email us at sigslayers@gmail. Yeah, so sigslayers@gmail, and that's all gravy. And I appreciate all your input tonight, Peter Griffin. That was fantastic. Vader does not skip leg day. No, sir. So I definitely wanted to show you guys, what we do here. We have a complete universe of content here on the Sig Slayers station, if you haven't known already. So we have weekly interviews, and then we have weekly lives with you guys, Star Wars Lives, with different topics. Then we also have pro interviews featuring David Barron, and he goes over his color process with his collaborators. So that's season 2 of the process. Season 1, you actually see David color some of these fantastic images that he gets paid to do. So so we have a whole cornucopia of content, comic book related, on the scene interviews as well. So we got Todd McFarlane on the scene interviews on our shorts, and as well Doug Mankey animations. And as Peter Griffith just said, Vader don't skip leg day. Well, guys, that is all for our show. Please subscribe to the Sig Slayer Station if you like what you see. I'm Mike the Sig Slayer. Next week, I'll be joined with my partner in crime, Mark, the Honorable Villain. But until then, we are out.